today is Andres, who will share with us how to find authenticity through comedy. So let's greet Andres.
Life as a comedian may not always be full of laughters, as you might expect, but it could. I was at the basement of a bar performing to a huge crowd of like 10 people who are mostly sober, I think, when a man suddenly shouted from the audience with a heavy, rough voice, "You're not funny." I responded, "You too." And that, ladies and gentlemen, is one of the many nights that I, as a comedian, must inevitably face. Bombing the room. A term in comedy which basically means, you suck. And sometimes I think to myself though, do you really? It's another classic term in comedy that you should try to make your audience laugh around 4 times a minute. Which means, if, ladies and gentlemen, you have not been laughing, please, I've got a KPI to meet. But unsurprisingly, this standard puts immense pressure for new comedians like me. Every joke must be fast and funny. Chop chop, clock's ticking, hello, what are you doing? And boom, you just bombed again. Rejected, dejected, you try to keep working on your jokes. Although a disturbing thought starts to creep into your mind. Can I actually do it? It's that feeling of, have you ever tried doing something so hard, yet your result only so far? But I'm not one to give up. I scoured the internet for OG comedians like Ali Wong, Dave Chappelle, Jimmy O Young, even somehow Jackie Chan was recommended in the list. I analyzed their structure. Oh, premise, punchline, okay, delivery, facial expression, vocal change, timing, pause. I started mimicking these comedians, and in the process, I found a secret recipe, a foul-proof pattern, a silver bullet that will guarantee to make an audience laugh. Are you ready for a big reveal? Sex jokes. Well, not for this crowd, I guess. By my next open mic, I was ready. I was like a soldier with heavy artillery. I summoned every sex jokes in the book. But the audience, yeah, it's like you guys, no one's laughing. I thought to myself, all right, I gotta up my game. I need to start screaming. I was shouting, I was groaning, I was moaning, I was going wild. But still, the audience was not laughing. As I step off the stage, walking wobbly towards my friend, I asked him half-heartedly, "How was it?" Hoping to hear something nice. But I forgot. Best friends rarely say something nice, especially when it comes to bros. He was like, "Just be yourself, man. You're funny when you're not on stage." And I was like, wow. That was such a crappy advice. Like, just be yourself. What do you mean, just be yourself? Like, how? Right? But on my way back, these same words came haunting back. You're funny when you're not on stage. And suddenly I was shoved into this memory lane to those days where I was fooling around, joking around in high school. I wasn't talking about sexual activities because I had none. And at home, if I were to come even this close to joke about these stuffs, My Asian parents will make sure I moan and I cry like I'm in a sexual activity. But still, the $1 million question remains. Why does being on stage feel so awkward, so alien at times? I'm sure all our speakers today might have felt the same way at one point or another. As it turns out, the answer to this question was as annoyingly simple as what my friend had said. I wasn't being me. Because you see, at one point, I grew tired of mimicking comedians, that I had to return to the only one place that I could. I was back into this memory lane, picking and plucking threads of my life as a foreigner here in China. How amusing it is that even though I'm Indonesian, almost everyone I meet will always think that I'm Chinese. Some of you might be surprised yourself. What? He's not Chinese? He looks exactly like Chinese. Yeah, some of y'all too. Just saying. But not only amusing, but also just sometimes annoying how I don't get treated by Chinese people just like how they would to foreigners. Especially when it comes to speaking Chinese. Yeah? Foreigners, right, they just say, Ni hao, oh, your Chinese is so good. True story. One Ai spoke to me in Shanghainese, and she was like, no, and of course, me being a foreigner, I replied to her, and I'm like, 是的, 对的. 对. This is just me. But as I started sharing these fragments of my memories, something magical happened. The room was in an uproar. Everyone was laughing so hard. They were resonating so much with my stories. But not only that, something even crazier happened. When sometimes the funny of my stories didn't land, I found myself still so deeply satisfied and excited within. Every open mic, I was just like this tsunami, overflowing with energy. To the point that even later, that same friend came to me and he said, yo man, you look like you're just having so much fun. It's so infectious. And I said, that's it. That's what I've been wanting to hear all this time. That people find me funny because of me. Because I wasn't being a replica or a medley of other comedians, but I was just me. And I'm telling you these stories in such an excruciating, elaborate details because I want to show you that the world of comedy is not as different as our reality. You and I, we too live in a world where we have immense pressure to perform and meet KPIs, deadlines. Every day we wake up and we have people behind us who keeps telling us, chop, chop, time's ticking, you're growing old, Willow, what are you doing? We try so hard, but sometimes our results only so far. We feel rejected, dejected, stripped naked. And that's why when we're in this state, it's so easy for us to start wearing robes of expectations, garments of requirements, stickers of standards that the society throw upon us. And so it's no wonder that we start questioning, why does this stage called life feel so awkward and alien? But it doesn't have to be that way. Which is why in my full speech, I want to go deeper and debunk how to actually be yourself from theories and ideas I've learned in stand-up comedy. This includes how to reverse engineer our persona, our status, and how we can overcome, we can reclaim our victory over our fears so that failures no longer limp us, but liberate us. Because as cliche as it gets, the world is indeed such a beautiful and magnificent place, but it wouldn't get any easier anytime soon. So we need to break free from society's expectations, requirements, and judgments. We need to consider a comedian's approach towards finding authenticity, both on stage and off stage. We need to discover us. Because at the end of the day, not every one of us should be a comedian, but every one of us deserve to be the most highly unapologetic, highly authentic us.